Today, we have the privilege of honoring three remarkable individuals whose contributions have left a lasting impact on our community. Before we begin introducing our honorees, I want to take a moment to share a quick story with you about the power of recognition and lasting impact it can have. Several years ago, a young man walked into his high school every day feeling invisible. He was a hard worker, always doing his best, but he never saw himself as anything special. He wasn't the star, he wasn't the class president, or the student with straight A's. He simply showed up, did his job, and went home. One afternoon, after a long day, his principal pulled him aside and said, "I just want you to know, I see how hard you work. I see the way you quietly set an example for others. You may not always get the attention, but what you do matters." That simple recognition changed the way the young man saw himself. It gave him confidence. It made him realize that his efforts weren't going unnoticed. And years later, he credited that moment, the moment someone took the time to acknowledge him, as a turning point in his life. Recognition matters. A simple acknowledgement of someone's efforts, contributions, and achievements can have a ripple effect that lasts a lifetime. That's exactly what today is about. Mr. Dennis Drum, Mr. Brian Jett, and Dr. Clint Wolk have all dedicated themselves to excellence. They have left a lasting mark on their professions, on the communities, and on the lives of others. By recognizing them today, we not only celebrate their achievements, we inspire all of you to believe that your own hard work, dedication, and character will be recognized in the future. So as they take the stage today, I encourage you to listen closely to their words. Take their journeys as proof that what you do today can shape your tomorrow. And never underestimate the power of recognition, whether you're the one receiving it or the one giving it. Now let's begin by hearing from a few of our student leaders who will introduce each of our honorees. As Ava Greer makes her way to the podium, I would like to share the qualifications to be a member of the Hall of Fame. A nominee must have graduated from St. Genevieve High School, graduated 15 years prior to being nominated, and whose nomination was based upon the following qualifications: leadership, character, achievement, service, and suitability as a role model to students. Ava, will you please introduce our first Hall of Fame inductee?
Our first Hall of Fame inductee is Coach Dennis Drum. Coach Drum is a 1972 SGHS alumni who went on to graduate from SEMO with a degree in education, which allowed him to begin his journey in coaching high school sports. Coach Drum has had a 32-year career in education as a teacher, coach, and athletic director. He has continued working in the St. Genevieve volleyball community since retirement by officiating and coaching USDVA and helping out the high school program. Coach Drum, would you please take a couple of minutes to share a few thoughts with our student body?
Okay, I'd like to start out by giving out some thank yous to different individuals who helped me on my journey, starting, of course, with the committee for allowing me to speak to you today with this very prestigious award, and joining those who have gone before me, and also those that I go into with today with Clint, kind of combining two different generations. Also along the way, the many assistant coaches and student athletes that I had over my 32-year career. Without them, I would be nothing. You're only as good as the people around you. So they were very important in my journey. Of course, my mother and father who are no longer here, but they taught me from very early on the importance of showing up to work every day and giving it your best effort, and also the importance of family. And probably the number one person in my life who has made this possible with all her sacrifices and the things that she's done for our family would be my wife of 48 years, Linda. She started out when we first got married. She was our main breadwinner. I was going to school and she was working 40, 45 hours a week to make it all possible. Then as I moved along in my career, I was coaching 3 sports, being an athletic director. I was away from the house many hours, and she made sure the girls were always at all their things that they needed to get done, their homework, all those things. She was there for them, and I was probably on a bus going somewhere. So without her, I wouldn't be standing here before you today. That brings me to my 2 daughters, Lindsay and Bethany, who, although it was a real challenge at times when I got to coaching here at St. John High School, it's not quite the challenge it used to be. Now that I'm retired, I get to stand side by side with them and coach their daughters. Truly one of the biggest blessings in my life has been able to do that. I think the theme of this story is, and I would say this, all of my family members, we all graduated from St. John High School. And I know I'm a little bit prejudiced when I say this, but I think this is one of the best school districts in the state. I was honored to go to school here, and I got to coach 16 years here, and it truly means a lot to me. As Dr. Boyd said earlier, the people you meet here at school can get you on your journey into adulthood. And I was lucky enough in junior high to run into a coach who, as soon as I met him, I knew that's what I wanted to be. I want to be a coach. I want to be like him. And you might recognize the name because he has a son who coaches here now, and that's Mike Shearer. He was a mentor and still is to this day. We'll sit at games of our grandkids and talk sports. And he was a great leader for me and a great mentor. Then I went into high school and I had the privilege of playing for guys like Coach Hook and Joe Shirey, and also the person whose gym is named after, Peggy Johnson, one of the best volleyball coaches in the state ever. So she allowed me to sit in on her practices when I was a janitor here, if you can believe that, and taught me how to set up my first net and how to do it right. So I would say to you, as a student body, take advantage of this school system. It has all the resources you need to get you off to a good start into your adult journey. Don't be afraid to reach out to that teacher, that coach, that administrator, that counselor. And in my case, even the cooks, the custodians, and the bus drivers helped me along the way. So it's here for you. All you have to do is use it. Reach out, find that teacher, whatever it might be, and let them help you on your first step towards adulthood. Thank you very much for your time, and go Dragons.
At this time, we are honored to present Coach Strum with a handcrafted plaque from our Industrial Technology Department, along with a personalized pullover, cup, and pin, created by our Marketing Productions class. Additionally, Coach Strum will receive a custom pair of Chuck Taylor Converse All-Star shoes, which we invite him to put on now.
optometry at the University of Missouri St. Louis. Earning his doctorate in 2007, he returned to his hometown in St. Genevieve to practice optometry through St. Genevieve Vision Care. A three-time state champion wrestler and salutatorian in his high school class, Dr. Wolf has volunteered as a coach in multiple sports for more than a decade. In 2019, he founded the St. John Vision League, a 5-week youth wrestling program. Dr. Wolf's dedication to mentoring youth was honored in 2024 with the Chamber of Commerce's Presidential Leader Award. Dr. Wolf, would you please join me at the podium to share some words with our student body?
Hello, I am nervous. This is awesome. First off, I'd like to thank the Mayor of St. Genevieve, David Schweiger, for letting us use this facility. Oh, wrong speech, hang on. So I always think it's funny how things end up working out. If most people who know me know that one of my biggest fears ever is public speaking. So the fact that I chose a career where I have to talk in front of strangers pretty much every day, and then I chose to pursue coaching, which has kind of led me to this position that I'm in right now. So to say that I'm honored to be standing up here would definitely be an understatement. I first heard about the St. John Hall of Fame actually from Mark Oak, who's sitting there, and it was like 2011 or 2012, and I just remember thinking that it would be such a neat thing to end up being inducted into it. Didn't think it would ever happen for me, but I just thought it was a really cool thing in school to start. I have always been proud to be a St. John graduate, and to see that everywhere that I went, people knew somebody from St. John. They knew of the town, and I just thought that was really cool considering how small the town are, that we tend to branch out and everybody remembers the people they meet from St. John. And my goal was always to come back here, come back home, and give back to this community. I never really felt like that was a choice that I had. I just felt like it was something that I owed, like I was repaying the debt from so many great mentors that I had that taught me along the way. So obviously wrestling was my go-to sport, my main sport, and I still compare everything in life to wrestling. And it's funny because Holland just said the same thing to me earlier when we were standing out there. I remember in college, I would have classmates just freaking out about tests or assignments, presentations that are coming up, and I'm sitting there thinking, you get to eat, you get to drink everything you want, you're not out there in front of thousands of people in your underwear and somebody's not trying to kick your butt. Like, this really isn't that bad. So I always look at everything and just know that what I went through with wrestling and how hard that was, pretty much everything in life was easy after that. But the main thing that I feel like sports and wrestling have taught me throughout all the years is just how to lose and how to recover from that. So a big message that I just want to pass along is knowing that in life, you are going to fail. There's going to be times that things don't go your way. But knowing that you get another chance, you can always get back up and try again and again and again. And I truly believe that that is just the key to being successful in life. Just never giving up and just keep trying until you succeed. So I want to end here. I'm going to be a little faster than Coach Strong. I did not think that would happen. So I want to say some thank yous. First to my family, my parents, my uncles, everybody who helped start the youth wrestling program about 30 years ago to get that all set up. Thank you to my family, my wife Kenzie, Ida Bear, how are you? Good, yeah. No, the nugget, yep. So my family for supporting my passion through coaching all the different sports. All my friends, brothers who helped me through the last decade, coaching football, wrestling, softball, whatever it may be. And also to, especially to all the coaches, the teachers, the mentors that I've had in my life throughout the way who have just shown me the correct way to go about living. And I just think it's funny because this will always be Coach Drum. This will always be Coach Jack to me. Coach Stolzer will always be Coach Stolzer. I was golfing with him last summer and his playing partner just kept going, why are you calling me Coach? Call me Buff. And I'm like, I can't do that. They will always be up here for me. Yeah, Mr. McGill, we were just talking about this. I will always hold those people who were important to me and who mentored me in the highest regard for the rest of my life. So, technology. Thank you also to the committee, whoever it was that approved me to be standing here today. And most of all, I want to say a thank you to all of the student athletes in this room who I've coached over the years, because in reality, you guys have made my dreams come true of being here right now. Now, I will say before I end, there is one more thing that we have to check off on my bucket list before I'm able to kind of retire from coaching, and that is a wrestling team state championship for St. Genevieve. And I think that's going to come up really soon here. So again, thank you to everyone. I am truly humbled and appreciate it.
At this time, we are honored to present Dr. Wolf with a handcrafted plaque from our Industrial Technology Department, along with a personalized pullover, cup, and pin created by our Marketing Productions class. Additionally, Dr. Wolf will receive a custom pair of Chuck Taylor Converse All-Star shoes, which we invite him to put on now as a small gesture of his induction into the St. Genevieve Arts Hall of Fame.
I'm gonna be so fast and they no one. That's what I need. Yeah. Thank you, Rylan.
Students, let's take one more opportunity to congratulate Dr. Wolf for his induction in St. Genevieve Arts Hall. Call Anna Fisher to the podium to introduce our first ever Dragons of Honor inductee. As Anna makes her way to the podium, I'd like to share the qualifications to be a member of the Dragons of Honor. A nominee must have made a significant contribution to the success and accomplishments of St. Genevieve County R2 School District, but did not graduate from St. Genevieve High School. The nomination will be based on the following qualifications: leadership, character, achievement, service, and suitability as a role model to students. Anna, will you please introduce our first ever Dragons of Honor inductee?
Our Dragons of Honor inductee is Coach Brian Jett. Coach Jett has made a lasting impact on students at SPHS and SGMS through his leadership, dedication, and support. In 1995, he volunteered to start the cross-country program at St. Genevieve, launching a career of inspiring students to achieve success through hard work. Coach Jett has guided countless athletes, including numerous college scholarship recipients and a professional runner. Over his career, Brian's team have achieved incredible success, earning 7 state titles, 1 in track, and 6 in girls cross country, and producing 158 all-state athletes. He has been named Coach of the Year 7 times by the Missouri Track and Cross Country Coaches Association, and was recognized as the Sectional Coach of the Year by the National Federation High School Coaches Association. On September 17, 2024, his lifelong contributions were celebrated with his induction into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Coach Jett, would you please take a moment to share some inspirational sentiments with the students of SPHS?
Unlike my fellow inductees, I have to get mine written down. Okay. Good morning, SGHS, staff, and students. What an honor. Most of my speech involves thanking people, and I want to make this point before I do anything else. In my coaching career, I surrounded myself with good people, intelligent people, hardworking people, and I think if you let yourself, you can see good things. A group of good people and things that too. Okay, I'll start with my thank yous. First, I'd like to thank the nomination committee. It's a tremendous honor. I better put my glasses on too. I'd like to thank some of the people who were instrumental in my coaching career. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Al Newman. Al was a math teacher here for years. I coached middle school track and high school boys track with him. A gentleman who taught me my organizational skills. I'd also like to thank Mr. Russ Toombs. Coach Toombs was my first assistant cross-country coach. We won our first state title in 2004. And I went to the superintendent and said, can I get an assistant now? And he said, let's look at the numbers. And I said, look at the numbers. He said, yeah, let's see how many people you got involved in the program. I said, Mike, I coach basketball. We can't look at numbers. The basketball program is typically too small and middle school anyway. Coach Sims was my first assistant. He was my assistant in girls track as well. Mr. Coombs, he's an exceptional communicator, and he really helped the track athletes in the program. He was a blast to coach with, and we enjoyed many priceless coaching experiences. I'd also like to thank Mr. Chris Warner. Chris Warner brought strength training to our distance program. His wrestling background helped instill the dedication required while adding intensity to our workouts. It didn't hurt that he was the father of one of the best distance runners the state's ever produced. Like Coach Toombs, Coach Warner, and I got to experience success most coaches only get to dream of. I would be remiss without thanking former runner, Ms. Kevin Munoz. She provided therapy for our banged up athletes. She pretty much runs therapy place in town now. Big thank you without the parents, their support. I was pretty demanding. We started practice at 6 o'clock every morning, pretty much year round. And oftentimes, most of the year we did 2 days. And parents really didn't question it. They supported it, and I got to thank them for that. A couple of standout parents I'd like to mention are Ms. Holly Hillscamp and Mrs. John Boyd Sr. I'd like to give a shout out to our very own Dr. Boyd. Our journey together began the summer before he entered 7th grade. I got to work with him throughout middle school and high school. I watched him earn all state honors in both track and cross country. He received a college scholarship. However, our journey didn't end there. A few years later, I was coaching against Dr. Boyd when he was coaching at North County High School. The good Lord smiled on me again, though. Dr. Boyd retired here at St. Janet. He was my assistant track coach and cross-country coach, and we too enjoyed unbelievable success. I'd like to thank my parents for the values and work ethic that they instilled in me. I'd like to thank my wife. Like Coach Trump said, I was gone when I was home, and she kept the nest together, supported me through all that, and I can't thank her enough. Ultimately, though, I'd like to thank the athletes. I'd like to thank them for their dedication, discipline, their sacrifice, their hard work, and believing in the program and each other. We created a family environment, and then we got to reap the rewards of our hard work. For me, the best part was coaching, watching athletes succeed. You didn't necessarily have to be talented to see success. You were willing to work hard. I'm going to say that again. You didn't necessarily have to be talented to have success. I had countless runners that couldn't do a somersault, had a hard time throwing a baseball, and yet they were all skaters because they worked hard and they were intelligent. I was truly blessed to have the career that I did. It illustrated hard work and make dreams come true. Thank you so very much for this honor. And don't be afraid to work hard. We'll do good things for you. Thanks so much.
At this time, we are honored to present Coach Jett with a handcrafted plaque from our Industrial Technology Department, along with a personalized pullover, cup, and pin created by our Marketing Introductions class. Additionally, Coach Jett will receive a custom pair of Chuck Taylor Converse All-Star shoes, which we invite him to put on now as a symbolic gesture of his induction into the St. Genevieve R2 Dragons of Honor. and then upon completion, students will be headed to fourth hour.